Greetings and good day to you. My name is Michael Roberts, otherwise known as Michael Styles. I'm from Michael Styles Hair Salon or Michael Styles Hair Academy. Now, the reason why I'm here today to do this talk, or we could say discussion, I wanted to talk about the NOTTINGHILL Carnival 2022. I'm just going to go straight in it. I want to send condolences out to the families that have lost a loved one in the NOTTINGHILL Carnival, and I want to send healing to the ones that also got hurt in NOTTINGHILL Carnival. So sorry about that. But then I also want to talk about, let's start with the capacity of the people in NOTTINGHILL Carnival. Now, we know the capacity of the people that was in NOTTINGHILL Carnival was like pushed to its limits. We saw people getting crushed. We saw all of that. But then let's think about how comes people are getting crushed and who's causing the people to get crushed. It's not about the amount of people that came down to NOTTINGHILL Carnival. Because let's look at this. When Carnival happened, is it in the 60s or the late 60s, 70s? When NOTTINGHILL Carnival started, all right, it had, a few thousand people in there. And the route was a bit bigger. And then we had the 80s. So that's the next generation that's come to NOTTINGHILL Carnival. And then we had the 90s. There's a next generation of people coming to Carnival. And then we had the 20th century. So we now got 4 to 5 generations of people, cramped in the same space that we had in the 70s or the 80s for NOTTINGHILL Carnival. And you're saying to me that let's say the government or whoever organizes the space, that it cannot be expanded? I was saying to some friends of mine that why could it not be expanded, that it starts on the Harrow Road? I even said Sudbury and come all the way from Sudbury down to Notting Hill. But then someone said to me, no, Michael, that's too long. But but expand it to the outer main roads, even as I said, onto the Harrow Roads, then venturing on into Notting Hill. Because you got all these millions of people that fly in even into London to come and see this NOTTINGHILL Carnival. And you have all these people cramped into one space like it's a pig pen. And the reason why I've called it a pig pen is because when you're coming into Labatt Grove or any of the entrances that come in, they've got these big bollards thing there, so no vehicles come in. And then they have these little black things that that people could walk through to come in. So we are caged in. We are caged in. All the side roads are all blocked off, so there's no emergency run, exit if anything was to happen or so forth. There's none of that. And then, we have the masqueraders who, safety is first for the masqueraders that are in costumes that are now getting squashed by the public. Then you have the king and queen costumes that cannot portray their costumes because they're getting squashed by the public. And then you have what we saw as masqueraders. We saw the police not being sympathetic to a lot of the masqueraders or even to some of the public, just charging through the crowd and all of this. And sometimes there isn't just no need. Yes, I know the police has got their job to do. Don't get me wrong. I know that and I hear that. But sometimes, when there's a crowd of people and people are getting squashed and so forth, it does make panic and people get scared, because it's like everybody's getting cramped into one space and you can't go left, you can't go right, you just go with the crowd. I saw people on trucks lifting up children because the crowd was getting so immense. And the thing is, the NOTTINGHILL Carnival knew that this year was going to even be bigger than all the years that we've had. Because remember, there hasn't been no carnival for the last 2 years. So this was going to be big, one of the big, this was going to be the mother of all carnivals. Because people haven't even seen carnival before was going to come down. So as they say, every man, woman and child you know, was coming down to the Notting Hill Carnival. You know, and what you know, what's upsetting is, and even on the social media, you know, everything is very negative about the Notting Hill Carnival. Not once have I seen on the Notting Hill Carnival, or even on any of the higher platforms like the news, or any, you know, like the BBC or Channel 4 or Channel 5, any of the news platforms, and they say they spend a day at a mass camp where they're making costumes and they're seeing how the costumes are made. You know, they don't talk about how the organizers and the people that's making the costumes are there until like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. some days making costumes. They talk about how, you know, it's like a family-orientated event where you go to the mass camp in the evening and you're gluing and you're sewing and you're sticking and you're having a joke, and who's in the kitchen making food for everybody and in the mass camps and all that. You don't see them talk about that. You don't see them talk about how they have to build a truck with all the speakers. You don't see them talk about like the people that's cooking for the masqueraders. Nothing is talked about that. And all of that plays part to making Notting Hill Carnival. They don't talk about how, you know, some kids play it from the age of, you know, being a baby, and they till now, and they're still playing it. I remember the years of playing Carnival from the Santua to Factory. Yeah, sorry about that. I remember the years of when I used to play with the Factory, which now became the Santua. And then I went to Masquerade 2000, and then after Masquerade 2000, I was playing with UCOM, and I'm still playing with UCOM, which is, can I just say, one of the best bands in London, England. What is the best band in London, England? That's who I play with. Yeah, and you know, it's amazing, and I've never once seen like a film crew, you know, come in and, you know, spend a day, you know, and say that and see how what's going on in the mass camp, what produces a mass camp, and shown on, you know, on a program, you know. And remember, this is meant to be Europe's biggest street festival, you know. You know, it needs a revamp, it needs a shake up, and I'm not saying to take it from Notting Hill. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is a space needs to be made bigger. So it still comes and gets judged in the Notting Hill, but space-wise, it needs to get bigger. Because even when you watch the carnivals now, you don't see so much of big costumes and king and queen costumes as they used to, because of the space, you know, and the health and safety of it also. So you're not getting a real full taste or flavor of some parts of the Notting Hill Carnival that should be there, that is no longer there. So you have mass camps and designers that want to make the big elaborate costumes, you know, to be portrayed, you know, but it's not being seen. So my thing is that we need to make it bigger. We need more roads to be opened up. We need, and also I think that a lot of the public would like to take part, but don't know how. All right, so I think on the high social media platforms, I'm talking about like the news and all of that, or even channel programs, need to do like a carnival special or so to talk about how you can join a band, you know, how you could you register with a band, because a lot of people ask, how can I join a band, or how can I wear a costume, or how can I wear a t-shirt? A lot of people don't know how, so I think that also needs to be emphasized on also, you know. And don't get me wrong, the police are doing their job and the police presence is acquired. I hear that. And yes, sometimes stop and search is needed, but just done in the right manner, if that makes sense. Because you see some young people or people getting searched, and it's like, what are you searching them for, and all of this. And then when they don't have nothing, it's like, oh my gosh. And some of them get manhandled, the ones that are innocent. So the ones, you know, the ones that are innocent get hurt because of the ones of the small minority that carry weapons and so forth. You know, I just hope that things can turn around, and I just felt that I wanted to just say a few words on it. And I hope that Notting Hill Carnival 2023 is more amazing, more spectacular. And as I said, please open up the roads, have more toilets, have more vendors selling drinks and food and stuff like that on the road, please. Even if some of the organizers are watching this or hear this, you know, speak to some of us that played the costumes. Speak to some of us that are on the ground, that are actually in it. And let us, you know, tell you some of our ideas or thoughts that should be done or taken into consideration for Notting Hill Carnival. I might have not have touched on a lot of things. I do apologize, but I just wanted to share my thoughts and ideas on it. Again, condolences out to the family that have lost loved ones in Notting Hill Carnival, you know, and please, you know, peace, love, and blessings and fulfillment. And let me leave you with this. Did you know it takes a whole year to plan for Notting Hill Carnival? Some people didn't know that. So from today, the 1st of September, some bands are already launching or already signing up for Notting Hill Carnival 2023. Some people didn't know that. Some people just thought that it's only a month or 2 months in advance. No. From the 1st of September 2022, costumes are now already got designed, and now already being prepared for Carnival 2023. So it's me, on behalf of me, Michael Styles. Hey, have a wonderful day. Look after yourself. All right. Blessings, love, and light. Michael Styles. Hey.